Hey everybody, Chef Eric Eisenbud here, the Grateful Chef. Welcome back to the Grateful Chef Kitchen. Today, we are Ruizing in the Grateful Chef Kitchen. So, listen, I'm on the internet, I'm on Facebook all the time. I see things, I see trends, and past couple day trend, IKEA has released their famous Swedish meatball recipe. Carl would have been all over that. If you don't know what Ruizing is, Google it. You will be astounded by the vast scope of what Ruizing is. Ruizing is cooking and eating and laughing in the style of Carl Ruiz, who passed away last year, much to the sadness of everyone who he has ever had contact with. So today it's for you, Carl. We are Ruizing in the Grateful Chef Kitchen. And we're making IKEA Swedish meatballs. How cool is that? So I got the recipe. I'm taking one for the team. Anyone who, said, ooh, I should try that, I'm trying it for you. And we're going to do a little recipe review. And you know what? So far it looks pretty cool. And I'm going to guess, go out on a limb, it's going to be better than the ones you get at IKEA. So we're hoping. We're doing it in a couple stages because you got to make the meatballs. You got to put them in the fridge for 2 hours. You got to take them out. They go in the oven for 30 minutes, and you make the gravy. So we're going to do it in, 2, 3 maybe, I don't know. Right now, we're making the meatballs. So, according to the recipe from IKEA, and interestingly enough, I built an IKEA bookcase today, and I got 2 more to build. So, we're celebrating Carl. We are softening the blow of having to put together IKEA furniture by making their meatballs. And here we go. So, the meats. What meats? We are using ground beef and ground pork. I have 1 pound of ground chuck, and I have a half a pound of ground pork right in here, going into our bowl. So far, it's easy. It's going over here. Of course, I'm using, as always, my prep deck. Look in the title of this. There's a link. You can click, go to prep deck. They are $10 off, or 10% off, I apologize, 10% off, and they're donating 10% to No Kid Hungry COVID-19 fund that they have going on there. So really cool, definitely cool. All right, so we have got the beef and the pork, and I'm just going to mix it up so it's evenly distributed. Pork is a little bit of a softer meat, and that's going to help make these meatballs a little bit softer. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so we've got that. I don't want to overwork it. You want tender meatballs. All right, there we go. Looks good to me. So the next thing, I am going to add 1 chopped onion. I chopped it kind of fine. Of course, depending on the size of your onion, I had a giant Spanish onion, so I used like, I don't know, 1/4 of it, maybe a little bit more. That's going in. Beautiful thing.
You see Marcel out there.
Hello, Mark.
Bill Deal and Kevin. He said he's Ruizing his ass off, or maybe we're Ruizing our asses off.
Right.
That's probably very true.
So we've got a clove, actually 2 cloves, called for 1 clove. I like garlic. I'm putting in 2 of garlic. We have 5 ounces, I believe. Is it 5 ounces of breadcrumb? No, 3.5 ounces of breadcrumb going in. So just a regular plain, nice fine breadcrumb. And we are going to add 1 egg. Ta-da! In the party pool.
When I try
and we are going to mix.
When I break an egg with my hand, I get a shell in there.
Well, it's a little extra protein. It's not bad.
We have Ms. Sophie out there.
Hi, Sophie.
She said she loves lingonberry.
Oh, boy.
I told her that we have a substitution from the Ballard Market.
We have a substitution. Since I don't have lingonberry and I didn't want to go out and try and find it, I do have Tayberry jelly that I bought at the Ballard Farmers Market in Seattle, Washington, or Ballard, and it's really phenomenal. Tayberry is kind of like an indigenous berry from the area, so I'm looking forward to that. All right, so we're mixing well. Okay, next. I have 5 ounces of whole milk. You might do that without spilling it. All right.
That was impressive.
5 ounces of whole milk. Need a little bit of salt. Got my trusty Fina mill right here. Season well with salt. Beautiful.
How do you know when you're done?
I just can tell. It's experience.
Yes, but you're talking to people that don't.
So it just says season well. So it all depends on how much meat you have. All right, so we're going to mix this in. Also, I need some pepper too. So
We got Marita.
I'm going to go with some white pepper. Hi, Marita.
She said hello.
I love white pepper because it's a little more aromatic. So you do it to your liking. All right. Beautiful. Mix it well. You can feel that the breadcrumb is already starting to soak up the milk and the egg and all that good stuff. And this is our mix for our meatballs. So excited. I'm going to wash my hand real quick.
Meat.
All right, I am using a disher. How cool is that? I'm trying to emulate the size of meatball that you get at IKEA. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on my tray. I'm going to do a scoop.
Do you know what size scoop that is?
No, I was actually looking. Oh, yes, I do. This is usually it says on the side, it's a number 70. Well, so I'm going to dish it out. I'm looking for uniformity. And that's all. So that's actually a little bit bigger than the ones you get at IKEA. So I'm going to go with a little bit less.
Whoops.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, guys.
Did I go for a dive?
You went for a dive. I wanted to get a better angle of the tray.
Yeah, so I think that's more like the ones at IKEA. Would you say, Lynn?
Yes.
We've only had them once, right?
Yeah, I've had them once, and that was a few months ago.
Yeah, so I'm going to make them small. It's like a little appetizer cocktail thing.
I'll say we went once. I probably ate at IKEA 30 years ago, maybe.
I don't know. IKEA for me is the kind of place, I go through. By the time I'm getting toward the end, I'm ready to go. So,
okay, pretty much when you walk in,
yeah,
you're ready to go.
All right, so I'm gonna make all these meatballs. Definitely not gonna bore you guys with me rolling meatballs, unless you guys have any questions, any suggestions, what you like to see in the Grateful Chef kitchen. Open to that. Any questions on recipes you're working on, may not work out, feel free to reach out. I am ready, willing, and able.
And you have time.
And we have time, right? All right, so after we do this and put this into the refrigerator for 2 hours, they say it's going to help keep them together when we fry them. They get fried and then they get put into an oven, at which time you make the gravy. So the ingredients of the gravy is butter, a little flour, a little, it calls for beef stock and like 5 ounces of beef stock, 5 ounces of veggie stock. I do have beef stock, but it's dry-aged beef stock in my freezer. So I did have a really high-quality chicken stock, so I just used 10 ounces of chicken stock. Perfectly okay. I didn't want to mess with it and add that dry-aged beef flavor. because I really want to make the recipe verbatim, as I always do when I make a recipe for the first time. So it's got butter, it's got a little flour, it's got Dijon mustard, and it's got a little bit of soy sauce. That makes up the gravy. So, yeah, get your kids in here to help you roll the meatballs. Nice activity.
We got Denise Klein saying, hey there.
Hi, Denise. This is one of Denise's favorites.
Yes.
I know.
Mark Senna said, hey, he'd like to, if you could do a fairly easy mac and cheese recipe. So,
oh, sure. Yeah, we did one the other day.
Yes.
Mac and cheese, my friend, is a technique. Once you know the technique, you can make a million kinds of mac and cheese. So I will be happy to do a mac and cheese. You can change up flavorings, you can change up cheeses, you can change up pasta shapes. But once you know the technique, easy peasy.
And it's easy to make gluten-free.
And it's easy to make gluten-free. So what I did was, I cooked 2 different types of pasta, and I made enough sauce for both. So I was able to make a gluten-free version for Lynn and a regular version for me, and it was great. Wasn't it good, Mike?
I wanted to keep eating. The dish was big enough that we had 2 meals.
Yes. And we just put them in the oven, a little breadcrumb on top, really, really good. So anyway, I'm going to roll these out. These are going to go in the fridge, and we're going to come back in a couple hours.
Let's see if there are any questions over here.
And we'll continue part 2, which is going to be frying and making the gravy. How exciting.
Sorry, I've got some stuff out here.
Okay, what do you got, Lynn?
Let's see. From Kevin. What's the physical change that happens when you overwork meat? Is it the same as gluten development? I've never understood this. Do you have an idea?
You know what? I think for meatballs, it just makes a tougher meatball. It compacts the meat a little bit. So that's for me. So it's not. I don't think it's like a chemical reaction like gluten. You just want. You want your meatballs to be light. You don't want to compact them too much. That's why I'm rolling pretty gently here. But also the fat in the meat, could melt and get a little stringy, just like when you're making sausage. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's not really a chemical reaction.
And then he said something about using heavy cream instead of milk in the sauce.
Well, I'm going to find that out. Because right now I'm making it as the recipe calls. I don't think there'll be too big of a difference if I'm using, like a high-quality chicken stock versus the beef and vegetable stock. I don't think that's going to make that big of a difference, but something like changing up the cream, because the sauce actually, let me talk about the sauce a little bit. The sauce actually has some double cream. I buy this at World Market. It's a British product. So that's going to be our cream element of the sauce. So in case you don't have that, you certainly could use heavy cream in the sauce, but not in the meatball. You want light meatballs.
All right. Anything else?
Anything else?
Let's see. I'm flipping over to the other page. And Robbie said, love gravy.
Hey Mo, awesome! You're gonna love this. Actually, I tried to video call you a little while ago. I sent you a duo invite. But anyway, so I'm gonna keep rolling these meatballs. We're gonna come back in 2 hours and get to the second step, frying and making this awesome IKEA gravy.
Will the second step take us all the way to eating?
Well, no, because I will put the meatballs in, we'll fry the meatballs, I'll throw them in the oven, and then we'll make the gravy. So the meatballs have to cook for about 30 minutes. So it'll be close.
All right.
Should work. All right, guys. Thanks for joining. Thanks for checking us out. Please share me with your friends and family. Let's get some more people on the Grateful Chef train. It would be really greatly appreciated. And yeah, we'll see you in a couple hours, guys. Be well, eat well, be kind, be nice, and love each other. We are all we've got. We'll see you on the next segment of Ruizing in the Kitchen. the Grateful Chef Kitchen with me, Chef Eric Eisenbud. Peace. Oops.